This episode was brought to you by the passage of time, and Joe deciding to move house and get a kitten, and me making absolutely zero attempt to recover his files to edit this episode. It was recorded on March 1st. It's the 31st today. We're real good at staying on schedule. Really good. Hey guys, it's us.
It's us. It's your boys.
It's your boys. It's Joe and me.
Hey.
And we're here. Hey, it's him and Hal.
And it's this guy.
Welcome back to the Class Flack podcast. My name is Hal, if you hadn't already gathered that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course...
And my name is Joe, and that was a flawless intro to a flawless podcast.
Oh, isn't it?
Welcome back. We're deep into season 2 of this thing that we do for some reason now.
Oh, yes.
And having a lovely time with it.
Aren't we just? We just?
What a delight it is to spend my evenings talking into a mic with you, my friend.
And what a yes.
What a yes.
Yes.
What a yes indeed. Class Flack, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for a rant. So, Hal.
Hello.
Last week you brought me a rant about the fundamental forces of the universe. You went big. Like one of the biggest rants we've had, like a huge overarching thing that affects everyone every day. I want to go one step bigger and talk about something that's even more important to every single one of us every single day.
More important than gravity.
More important than gravity.
Okay. Is it light?
Light will be good.
Yeah.
Air, that's another one. And take it one letter more. I'm complaining about my hair.
What?
I just... How? You've heard me complain about this before.
I have, and it got me angry last time.
And I can't wait to see how angry it gets you this time. But how? I just have too much hair on the top of my head. And it makes me angry. And I'm glad we're doing this with the camera, because that little sad look down gave me everything I needed.
You sadistic fuck.
I'm gonna give you some reasons.
Okay.
First and foremost is that like right now my hair's pretty long. It's been growing for a while. I had a little check. My last haircut was in October, which isn't like tons of time away. I've gone longer in between haircuts, but it wasn't a particularly short cut then.
Okay.
And what's now happening is a thing that happens to me periodically every few months when I don't get my haircut, where I suddenly and inexplicably start getting headaches out of nowhere. And like it happened to me first noticed it back in lockdown 1.0.
Yep.
And I was like, oh wow, that's a bit funny, isn't it? I just started getting headaches. It must be, I've gone from working in a big open office that I can see for miles with a really well set up desk, because I've spent the time and everything to get it set up at the perfect height with the perfect distance, and I get breaks throughout the day, and I'm suddenly in a smaller. I'm in the spare room. I don't have everything set up exactly as ought to, so clearly something is not right. I'm getting eye strain from looking at a computer, or there's nothing right here. And I went to the opticians. I was like, I'm getting headaches all the time. Every day I get a headache. They're like, oh yeah, it's probably your computer setup. Do you work on computers? Like, yeah, I work on a computer every day. Every day I look at a screen. Oh, that's no good. We'll do you a test. Oh, so your tests come back 2020, so your eyesight's fine. But if you want, just pay us lots of money for a pair of glasses anyway. So I went, all right, Specsavers, I'll pay you the amount it costs to buy a pair of glasses from you, which is not a small amount of money. And I got this lovely pair of glasses.
You got some blue light glasses.
These are like a year old now, but I got some new glasses that are just to kind of magnify a little bit. They explained it to me in a good way, to be like, they're just to make things that are a computer screen away just look a little bit crisper. Like, great, that'll help my headaches. And they got a little bit better. And then I got a haircut and realised that literally the entire time It's because since the age of 15, I've never lost the emo fringe fully. So as soon as my hair grows out, I just get stuck with hair above one eye for the entirety of the day. And I can't see through it properly, and I can't move it out of the way. And I get an inexplicable headache in that eye every day. So I'm really mad at my hair for that specific reason right now.
Let me counteract that with...
Please do.
Let me tell you about a wonderful thing called hats.
Right?
I'm wearing one right now.
As you often do, and I knew you were going to come at me with this because you're Mr. Beanie. Not to be confused with Mr. Bean, but how is that comfortable all day? How can you just sit and wear an inside woolly hat?
Quite easily. In fact, I find it more... I mean, you're a man with a headset.
Yes, I am that, yep.
So I find now that it is having that extra layer of kind of cushion between my ear and my headset. I can't do without it now, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just like the cushioning on top of the ear?
Yeah.
But then you can't hear properly because there's a hat in the way.
Oh no, I mean, I think you need to get a better headset because I can hear perfectly fine through it.
Well, I mean, that's for sure true. But,
Yeah.
So do you not also get, and I think I know the answer to this, but you don't also get the thing where you're wearing a hat for long periods of time and then your hair gets all kind of crushed up all together and it kind of rubs and it's just a bit, this is like a heaviness and it's just a bit uncomfortable?
Well, no.
No, you don't get that.
No, I don't get that because my hair is basically at this point transparent unless it's got some sort of matting or voluminous hair product in it.
Right, sure.
I am not blessed with the genetics that you have where...
Okay, well, we've discussed this many times before.
Yes.
We just have each other's heads upside down. You are blessed with the genetics of the most luxurious beard I've ever seen in my life. I am nearly 30 and have a scraggly mess that can just about be called a beard if you look really closely at it. And has never managed to grow any more than that. But I do have a thick, luxurious head of hair. I know which I'd rather have.
Which one would you'd rather...
I'd rather have the beard. This is a nightmare. The top of my head. You know what's your experience when you go to the barbers? What's your haircut experience like?
My haircut experience is cut the back and sides as short as possible so it doesn't look like my hair goes up like this. So I don't end up looking like Arnold from Hey Arnold. Because at the moment, the way that my hair, I mean, genetically speaking, in probably about 7 years, I will start going bald. By the time I'm 30, my dad was balding on top in his early 30s.
Sure. You could be worse. Plenty of people our age are already pretty bald. You're just a little thinning is not the worst thing.
No, I mean, I caught sight of the my crown the other day. Jesus, that was scary. Yeah, if my hair, I think when it's cut nice and short at the back and sides, it doesn't look too bad. But they not only does the top of my hair and the back and sides grow at different speeds, but it also grows at catastrophically different thickness.
Excellent.
So the usual bit you see with balding men, the bit around the back and sides, is probably about as thick as all of your hair. But then there's just this wispy flap on top. I'm not quite to the point where I've got, a comb over or anything. But
no,
if you were to...
You've not got the isolated wisp. You've not got bald and then just a little front bit.
No. But where my actual... If I were to kind of... I've got a widow's peak. It's just my hair is so long that it kind of, and I push it forward, it kind of melts together. Right. If I were to actually find
you have just described a comb over. I hope you understand that.
No. That's because a comb over is going from one to the other.
Right. Okay. So it's just a front comb over.
Yeah. If I were to find where my actual hairline at my what's this bit here?
Are your temples?
Your temple, yeah.
Yeah.
If I were to find that and trace it actually back, my hairline is probably about here, and then there's just a clump on the front.
Okay, that's fair enough. But my question was specifically your experience at the barbers. You sit down in the chair, and you've not come back to me with, oh, that's a notable experience in my life. You just get your hair cut and you leave, right? I can tell you the...
No,
Okay, give
no.
me what you got.
No, because I told you what I get. My experience is actually they wet my hair, they do the thing where they comb your hair up, and you realise, shit, I've got no hair. Because it's so wet, and they've done it in a way where they're like, oh, is this short enough? It looks like this. It just looks like some fingers pointing straight up. Like, do you want a little bit off the top? Like, no.
Keep it all. I need that.
That's, yeah. Don't take any of that, please. I now feel horrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have obviously the opposite experience where I sit down and without failure, no matter how long it's been since I go, I get someone go, oh, it's been a while since someone's done this, hasn't they? God, there's a lot going on here. And I go, yeah, it's always the same. It's the same. If you cut it reasonably short on the back and sides, leave quite a lot on top, otherwise it grows sideways, exactly like you say. And I get, especially like round my crown, it just goes straight out, and it becomes Lego hair, is what I get.
Right.
And they go, yeah, no problem. And they get the scissors out, and it's all going well. And then I'm still there for a while, and then it's still going well. And then they have a look down at the watch, and then they're still cutting the same little bit, and they go, oh, you got a lot of this, haven't you? Without fail, every single time I get my hair cut, I watch for exactly the same things. The moment when they look at their watch and like, Jesus, it's been 25 minutes and I've not made a dent in this yet. The moment when they go, God, you've got a lot of this, haven't you? The moment when they need to sweep the floor because the floor is a rug at this point, and my hair looks exactly the same. I've never had a haircut that lasted less than about an hour because there is so much of it. And at the end, I know I'm talking to you right now in a very structured way, having a podcast with you, but you know me well enough to know that I'm not good at holding a conversation with people at the best of times at all. So that is an hour of awkward small talk for 5 minutes, complete silence while I stare at myself with ever increasing dread, and just eventually going, yeah, that's fine. Whatever you've done, that's fine. Just let me leave now.
Okay, you need to learn how to barber, my friend. Like, not as in to be a barber, as in go to a barber's, because it sounds to me like, so I have the same person cut my hair every time.
I think I probably have the same person as you cut my hair. I've specifically gone to the barbers that you told me to go to after we had this conversation last.
But like, do you book the same person because then they remember?
No, I don't book the same person because I have the same awkward experience with one person twice, and then like maybe the next one will be better and less awkward. And then I accidentally get into the same person again and I have the same awkward conversation. And it is not an experience I look forward to at all.
Because I hate having my hair cut as well, because for the exact same reason. But I have found that if you just, no matter how awkward that first conversation is, maybe even the second one, if you keep going to the same person, they eventually go, oh yeah, I remember what happened last time. How you been? And it, like, you know.
But your experience would be, oh, I remember what happened last time. I'll remember to not cut that bit off the top again. Not, oh my God, it's this guy again. I'm going to get paid barely anything for my next 3 hours of work trying to talk to this idiot.
Also, if, you know, an hour haircut is probably around about right. Mine takes about 45 minutes.
Right, okay.
So
then maybe it's just me then, but it is agonizingly long.
No, that is your social anxiety that's playing up.
I'm blaming my hair, but it's definitely that. But it's just, this is nonsense at the moment. And it's giving me headaches, and I know that I'm due for a haircut, and I know I'm going to have to fit in when the barber's open again, and God, that is... I mean, if that's my biggest problem at the moment, I get that that's okay, but...
I mean, I remember at one point you telling me about how you discovered hairbands, and it was game-changing. You just use that again.
But they're so dumb. I look so dumb. It's not long... You'd think... my hair's long enough that my fringe reaches my chin.
Yeah.
You'd think that would just tie back properly. but it's too strong. It's too powerful, Hal. You put a hairband in, and it will just slowly just kind of reclaim my head and like dispense of this foreign intruder.
So even if you get one of those like rigid ones that...
You want me to get an Alice band?
Is that what they're called?
Do you want me to get an Alice band with some little Diamante bits on it and my name drawn on it?
Yes. Who's going to see it, mate?
I am. I'm going to know it's there. Can't be doing with it. I'd much rather just have it flopping about. I keep noticing myself every time I'm doing anything on a webcam. I'm noticing myself every 3 seconds, just kind of pushing my hair out my way. But I'd much rather do that than have an Alice band. And that's just my ego.
Get a trucker hat. Get a mesh trucker hat.
Get a mesh trucker hat.
Wear it backwards.
I'm the king of fashion. You can't let me be seen in a mesh trucker hat. I have a certain image to uphold.
It might
of floppy 16-year-old hair.
I mean, have you not seen Levi's have done a Pokemon collaboration?
Have they?
Of course, because yeah. And one of the things that they've done is a red trucker hat in the style of Ash's hat. Just get that.
Okay, great. So your answer to, if you're a fashionable man and you don't wear a trucker hat, wear the Pokemon one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I'm sold.
I reject your rant.
Right. I understand that you would. I knew that you would because I've ranted to this many times.
Yeah. I don't know.
If we could blend our two heads, we'd create simultaneously the hairiest and least hairy person on Earth. If you could get my hair and your beard, they'd just be eyes poking out of a.
It would be someone with that. What's that? I don't want to use the colloquial term because it's not very nice. The where they have literally Cousin It, basically.
Cousin It, yeah. It will be Cousin It and someone that has some kind of medical issue.
Yeah, full body alopecia.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll still complain about it, and you'll complain about yours.
Yep. And to be honest, I definitely would have it the other way around because as
have
nice
this
as yes,
this one.
My face gets so fucking hot. And
so does my head. You wear a beanie all day, every day. My head gets so hot. It's a nightmare.
Well, imagine having a face mask on your face.
Yeah, no, in fairness, I get that. That's bad enough just with this little scruff.
Like, genuinely, whenever I go to, I think I've said this before, but ever I go to, like, Tesco's for anywhere where I need to keep the mask on for a bit longer than usual, by the time I get out, it's so humid that my beard is actually wet.
Okay, cool. I'll save the beard until the masks are gone then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. I think as far as rants go, that was the worst. So let's...
I'm sorry, Mr. Gravity is stupid and I hate it.
It is stupid and I hate it.
Go on, move on then.
But the thing is, the thing is that you're not gravitationally challenged.
What do you mean I'm not gravitational? What do you mean by that?
Anyway, moving on. So... Learning. So we'll move on to the second part, and as per usual, whenever it's my turn to do the class, I have once again copped out.
What's he copped out on this time?
So it's quiz time.
It's quiz time, Joe.
Quiz time. Time to do another quiz.
I'm gonna make you a different jingle for quiz time with Hal.
I swear at least the last three times it's been my turn to teach you something, I've just copped out and done a quiz.
We love it. Let's do it.
But this one is rather fitting because there have been some very, very important anniversaries this year.
They sure have.
In the gaming world, we've had the Mario. Well, Mario one was last year. Got 25 years of Pokemon, 35 years of Zelda, but there's been one particular anniversary which I think has been overlooked somewhat.
Right.
Can you think what it is?
Those are the big ones that I can think of. I don't know. Can you give me a clue?
Well, in a couple days' time,
Mm-hmm.
our beloved game Animal Crossing will celebrate its first
Ah,
birthday.
oh, bless it. Does that mean it's time for another
Yeah.
pandemic?
Yeah.
This is about time, isn't it?
This is Pandemic Mark 2.
Oh no.
No.
What happy
It's
birthday, Animal Crossing.
yeah. So, we're going to do a couple of Animal Crossing quizzes.
Big fan, let's do it.
So the first one we'll be doing as an actual trivia quiz about Animal
Oh,
Crossing.
I can't imagine this will go well for me.
No.
Let's find
How well?
out.
How well do you? Joe Goddard, does he know things? Let's find out. What do they know? Yeah. How would you say your Animal Crossing trivia is?
About 20%.
20%.
That is my estimation on my score for this quiz. It's about 20%.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, let's get cracking.
Mm-hmm. Let's embarrass Joe with his lack of knowledge of small animal friends.
So which console did the original Animal Crossing game launch on in Japan?
In Japan, I think it was the 64 disc system and not the GameCube as it was in the rest of the world. Was that a big swing and a miss, or am I huge brain here?
You big brained that one. It was indeed N64.
Fantastic.
It was originally called Animal Forest.
It was called Animal Forest, yeah.
Which I've just given you the answers to the second question. What does Animal Crossing's Japanese name, Debutsu no Mori, translate as?
Oh, difficult question. So Debutsu would be animal. That's easy enough. Mori would be like trees. Animal forest, I'd say probably.
It was actually Animal Intersection, but I'll give you a bonus. I'll give you a bonus.
Animal roundabout.
Yeah, no, it was Animal Forest. I'm now not going to elaborate on that point.
Don't
Because
elaborate on anything. It's gonna give you. You're gonna give me answers.
Which of the Animal Crossing games was the first to do simultaneous multiplayer?
What do you mean by simultaneous multiplayer?
I have no idea.
Well, we'll find out. And I'm gonna.
Would you like some options?
Give me some options. I'd love some options.
Okay, so you've got Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Another entry in the Animal Crossing franchise.
Right.
You got Animal Crossing Wild World, Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City, or Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Ooh, simultaneous multiplayer, I would say, is Let's Go to the City.
I'm going to go for Let's Go to the City. It was indeed Wild World.
Ah, that's a bad miss.
That's a bad miss. Which type of animal villager is the most common? Is it bear, bird, cat, or dog?
I think it's probably cat.
I'm going to go with cat.
You see a lot of cats about.
It is cat.
It is cat. There's so many cats.
There's so many cats. Do you have a cat on your island?
I'm just having to think about it. Yeah, I've got Felicity on my island.
Oh, Felicity's weird.
It was a posh cat. Do I have a second cat? No, try not to mix and match the animal types, but no, we've got Felicity the cat on my island. You got a cat on your island?
I do. I've got Kiki. It's a little black cat with giant green eyes. Reminds me of Bruce.
Fantastic cat. 10 out of 10.
Top cat.
The most virtual is intellectual. Oh, yeah. Next one.
Which character supposedly made younger players cry? Was it Tom Nook, Zippity Bunny, Rossetti, or Captain?
Any one of those could make you cry.
Genuinely, Zippity Bunny made me cry.
Zippity Bunny was horrifying. That's going to be coming up again. We're getting
Bunny
close
Day
to
2021.
God, that was the. That was not long after I picked it. Did I pick up the game at launch? I can't remember. If it was either at launch or not long after, but it
was not long after.
It went pretty quickly onto Bunny Day, and just when you're first getting into a game, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna catch me some fish. I'm gonna get some insects. Let's smash this rock. Oh, I'm gonna dig up this tree. Let's see all the eggs. Eggs are everywhere, and that all goddamn eggs. Bunny. I think it's probably Rossetti, but I'm going for the bunny.
You're gonna go for the bunny?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Rossetti.
It was Rossetti. Right. He yells.
But he does. He's been removed. I love the fact he's.
I'm devastated that it's been removed. I've never played. New Horizons is my first Animal Crossing game. I really enjoy the idea of the character of Rossetti.
The fact that he yells at you for not playing the game properly.
Yeah, I love it.
Properly.
Make him put more awful yelling people into kid-friendly games. That's my PSA.
It's not even so much that he yells; it's the fact that he gives you a long lecture of how you're letting yourself down, but most importantly, you're letting him down.
I would cry. Young me would cry at that. I've cried at video games as a kid, but I can't. Really weird, obscure, nothing kind of games I've broken down into tears about.
Yeah.
Evo's Space Adventure, or Silicon. Wait, Space Station Silicon Valley was the Game Boy version of that game, where you play as a robot that's been smashed to pieces, and you have to gain your pieces back to escape a space station. And at the end of that game, when we escaped that space station, I burst down into tears. It's a very average Game Boy Color game. So yeah, Rossetti would have made me cry.
Yeah, easily. The only time I've cried at a video game was because the flashing screen when you run out of time in WarioWare
Land, yeah.
Gave me a huge fucking migraine.
Oh no. Yeah, that made me cry.
Yeah, that
I think I can picture that.
Anyway, everyone's favourite guitar-playing canine, KK Slider, is a reference to which member of the development team? The game's creator, Katsuya Eguchi, the composer, Kasumi Tataka, the team's mascot and pet dog, Katashi Kagura, or the scriptwriter, Kunio Watanabe.
Well, only one of those has two Ks and is a dog. Yep. So I'm going to say it's probably the mascot. It would make sense for it to be the composer, but I think that's too obvious. I'm going to go it's based on their dog.
It was indeed based on the composer.
Ah, too easy.
You're thinking too obscure.
I know.
Yeah. What
Sorry, you really were expecting me to say something more there, but I was done. I was done with my sentence.
I think it was the eyebrow raise as well. What peripheral came bundled with Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City? Was it a limited edition Wii remote, an e-reader and pack of Animal Crossing themed e-cards, Wii Speak, or an internet adapter for the Wii?
I think it was probably an e-reader. I've heard tell of Animal Crossing e-cards. Whether or not they came bundled, I don't know. But it'd be a fun little gimmick, so that's where I'm going with that. That's my money.
You want to go with that one? You are incorrect. An e-reader was packaged, was used in Animal Forest, I believe. The original. Right. And it was Wii Speak that came with.
That was going to be my last answer, because what is Wii Speak?
Wii Speak was a failed Wii peripheral that allowed voice chat over Wii.
Ah, yeah, I can see why that failed.
Yep. Yeah, because no games need it. What is Tom Nook?
Tom Nook's a tanuki. He is a raccoon dog.
He is a tanuki. I wasn't even going to give you the answer, the options there, because that's.
I guess that's asking if you're an idiot and say you're a raccoon, but he's not a raccoon. He's a tanuki.
Yeah. What is the museum curator Blathers afraid of?
He's afraid of bugs. It always makes me feel really sad when I bring him a beautiful bug and he goes, "Oh, that's horrible," and I hate it. No, Blathers, look at my Atlas moth. It's enormous and magnificent. Appreciate my bugs.
You got to admit his dedication to his craft though, because
absolutely.
Despite how disgusted with that little critter he is, he will still give you facts.
He will give you facts and he will care for it. He'll find the perfect home in his museum. But Blathers,
he will do it begrudgingly.
He really will.
Which of these in-game Animal Crossing events does not take place on the same day as its real-life counterpart?
Ooh.
Is it New Year's Day, Christmas Day, Valentine's Day, or Halloween?
Christmas? I didn't play it at Christmas.
You are correct, sir. Toy Day, or its counterpart, is on the 24th.
Is that to encourage people to spend time with their families at Christmas and not glued to Games
Probably. Probably.
console. I like it. Whereas Valentine's Day, forget that. No loved ones allowed here. Get on the Switch.
So what would you say your final score would be?
I feel like I did pretty well on that. I was
did all right.
anticipating about a 20% there, but I'd call it maybe 60, 70 there.
Spot on. You got 60%.
60%. Look at me.
Look
That
at you.
dank Animal Crossing knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, for the next one, we are going to go to our friends at BuzzFeed.
Yeah. The Beano didn't do one.
No, not that I could find, at least.
Disappointing. That should always be your first port of call.
We are going to find out there are only 4 types of Animal Crossing Horizon players. Which one are you?
Oh. Let's find out. Did they tell you up front what each one is?
No.
Do we know the options? Okay, we'll find out which type we are then.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favourite activity, Joe? Is it fishing and catching bugs, landscaping, playing online, or moving out villages?
No, it's fishing and catching bugs. That's the only reason I play the game. Landscaping is a chore. And
it is.
I've never moved out a villager. Once a villager turns up, you learn to love that villager. They're part of your family now. They're part of your island.
Incorrect. If you don't like them, you find a way to get rid of them. Even if that means buying one of these little buggers. What
am I looking at there?
It is a NFC token where you can buy them online at Etsy for like dirt cheap and use it to get the villager you want.
Have you just got? Is that a programmable NFC thing that you've? Or is it a token for the thing? So so Mr. Rossetti would be yelling at you, man.
Shame he's not about, isn't it? So, what's the first thing you'd... And actually, to be fair, it is technically part of the game because they're based off the NSC cards you can buy in a pack.
It is, but you didn't give your money to Nintendo for that, did you? You gave it to Etsy.
I mean, it doesn't mean that Nintendo knows it. Well, they don't know, don't hurt them. What's the first thing you do each day? Dig for fossils? I'm burnt out. Unhappy face. Each day...
First thing you do, each day you wake up and go, I'm burnt out.
Yep.
All right, BuzzFeed.
Are you okay?
Maybe get some help.
Yeah, that sounds like depression. Each day, I skip days.
Right.
Also sounds like depression.
Yep.
Or shop.
I dig fossils.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. You're feeling this at the same time. Was your answer fish and bugs in the last one?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, cool. Just the correct answer.
Yeah.
You play the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would have, if it hadn't been for that obvious one, it would have been moving out villages. But no, it's the correct one. Yeah. How do you feel about the villagers on your island? I don't pay attention to my villagers. I feel bad for moving their houses every week.
Right.
I'm just trying to finish my museum. All good, but I want some of the new villagers.
I'm just trying to finish my museum. How? There's not the correct answer on there. Would be they're all my best friends, even the awful one, even Colton the awful horse, and Octavian the very grumpy octopus.
I love Octavian.
His house is just leaves. What are you doing?
He's doing his best. He's doing his best.
But that's the thing. I love him. He came to my island and went, oh, not sure about this little guy. But you guys love him.
Most of the time. Sometimes it's just get the fuck out. I deliberately got rid of Kurlos because he was doing my nut in.
Who's Carlos? What did he do?
He was he looked like a Orthodox Greek sheep.
This is not the first time you've complained about your Greek sheep. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, he was just incorrigible. Hated him.
What was his particular problem, or do you just hate the Greeks?
I plead the fifth. Favorite NPC, Joe? No, he was just really. I just didn't like him.
No,
I don't know. I can't describe it without suddenly sounding very racist. So I just didn't like him.
So
favorite NPC.
Yep.
Favorite NPC.
Do I get full range here? Are you going to give me some options? Favorite NPC is Blathers.
Blathers, correct. I'm not even going to. I mean, Tom Nook is pretty cool.
Tom Nook's a great character, but he can't be your favorite.
No.
Isabel's
have one favourite.
delightful and everyone loves her, but Blathers, man. No
Yeah,
one
it's definitely
hooty hoos
Blathers.
like he do.
No one what?
No one hooty hoos like he do.
Finally, is New Horizons your first Animal Crossing game? Of course not. No. New Leaf was my first. Yes or no?
What a weird selection of answers again. Yes,
It's
is my answer.
No, yes or no.
Yes, it was my first.
It was your first.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your first?
So my first was Wild World, I believe.
Is that
So
DS?
DS, yeah.
Yeah.
So you are the collector.
Yeah,
you loved collecting all of the furniture sets, artwork, and creatures in the past games, and still enjoy it today. I mean, that's not quite right.
Well, I didn't play the past games, BuzzFeed, so get your facts right.
Yep. Your main goal is to finish your museum and catalogue, just as long as Red doesn't take a month to come.
Oh, Red, he takes so long.
He does.
And every time it's fake art. I don't mind the fake art, though. It just means that's art to put around the island.
Exactly, yeah.
And they all do fun
who's
things.
Who's going to know?
Exactly.
Who's going to know? I got the exact same, because the only question that differed was the fact that, no, it wasn't my first. And yeah, so there we go. We're both collectors.
As is the correct reason to play Animal Crossing, I think.
Yeah.
What a wonderful game. I genuinely, I've not picked it up in a while. I'm one of these people that played, like, that was lockdown with Animal Crossing.
1.0.
1.0 was Animal Crossing daily, collects everything, talk to your villagers, make sure that everyone's happy, and then put it down for a bit. Picked it up a few months later, and there were cobwebs everywhere, and it scared me. And I felt really bad because all the villagers were walking around, just like, "Oh, I've not seen you in ages. I thought you died." Like, all right, Goose. Sorry, pal.
Oh dear.
But no, now's the time. Now's the time to get back.
Yep. Well, I mean, especially because for us northern hemispheres, now this month particular is obviously actually no, it would be the same for southern hemisphere because it's been a year.
Yep.
I
like your train of thinking there.
Yep, train of thinking.
All right, shut up.
Yep, we can finally finish our museums, which we will be doing on a stream tonight. So we'll have done on a stream by the time this has gone live. But,
unless I really edit this quickly.
No.
This week.
What's this week been for you, Joe?
This week, or this, when was the last time we recorded? It's been a week and a bit, hasn't it? It's been a busy one. This week's been pretty good. To follow a trend of what we've been talking about a lot in the last few weeks, I've been streaming.
You have, yeah.
Which has been delightful. I've signed up to Twitch. I've done my first ever stream and my second ever stream. And I'm bloody loving it.
It's been delightful to watch.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So I've been playing through classic Zelda 1 on the NES. Going along, muddling through, dying a lot, and drawing my own map as I go, which has been the most fun part of the game, I think. Yeah,
it's been possibly the most fun to watch.
Well, it's not fun to watch me die at a game.
No.
Over and over again.
Constant death.
Yeah.
But no, you do beautiful art, Joe. Beautiful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Even the first one that I did, where I was kind of in the mid. Oh my god, I'm streaming. Don't know what I'm doing. Got to talk and play, and draw. Talk and play and draw. What we're doing? We're over here. No, let's draw a thing. I've just got hit by an Octorok and now I'm dead. And then we'll talk and play and draw. And okay, so the map's fine. Everything's doing fine. And I've messed up the map.
Yep, map's wrong.
Map's completely wrong. So let's just fix that. And no, it's completely wrong. And everything that I've drawn is in the wrong place, and nothing lines up with anything.
I do remember the instant that you were like, oh, but no, hang on, if I do this, no, that's fine. And then, yeah, if I come down here, and I'll come out, shit.
Yeah, it was exactly that. I was like, so this will be the starting place, and then, oh, not been here before.
Oh no.
This is a different place than I was expecting. Oh, I've drawn my map and pen. And the whole thing in felt tipsy.
Yeah, I did pop into your second stream for a little bit. I can't remember what I was doing that day, but I popped in for a little bit, and you'd gone quite a bit further.
In terms of the map, yeah. So as of recording, and I think there'll probably be another stream before this podcast goes live. But as of recording, I've probably filled in about 2/3 of the map, which I'm looking at the moment and feels great because that's like, wow, that's so much of it that's filled in. Beat 3 of the 9 dungeons though, and that's what's going to take me the time. I spent the whole of the last stream pretty much trying to get through one dungeon because it turns out NES games are not easy. It's it's a challenge to get through it. There's a harsh difficulty curve.
Yep.
Which means
they
that
don't
we might
pull
never
punches.
get through.
They don't pull punches
They
either.
really don't pull punches.
No.
So yeah, that's entertaining to play. Who knows if it's entertaining to watch? But I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah, it's probably been one of the first streams that I've sat down and just watched all the way through for a long time. Yeah. No, not at all. I quite often have. I don't really watch streams that much anyway, but I've been watching Amir's and Henry's on in the background.
Yeah.
A little bit. And Josh and Joe, the other Joe, for a bit, just kind of having them on in the background. But I think yours has been the first one in a real long time that I've actually just kind of sat down, watched, been in the chat, and been real part of, and it was real good time, good party.
There you go. That's wonderful feedback. Just how genuinely really appreciate that because it's fun to do.
Yeah.
These are all people. All those people that you just mentioned are people that, if you're listening, you can find on both of our channels and on the auto hosting list as well. Who are good people to watch them. But how's your week been? What have you been doing?
It's been all right. It's not been too bad. We streamed on Friday.
We did
last Friday. Thought we'd jump on the bandwagon of all the coattails of the Pokemon announcement, and got one viewer.
Yep. We had a great time though. Technically, how we streamed on Saturday.
Technically, we did
because it took so long to set up.
Yep.
And that's the sound of the big sad. But no, it was a fun stream.
It took 5 hours to get my computer ready to stream because work broke my computer.
Yeah.
So that was fun. What else have we done? We watched talking of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
What are your takeaways? We talked about it briefly on stream, but
we did talk about it on stream. So you're talking, of course, about the Pokemon 25th anniversary Pokemon Direct that they did.
Yep.
They announced 2 games and gave an update on the third. So Pokemon Snap is the one that we actually didn't talk about much on the stream.
That's true.
Looks like a great time. I'm quite looking forward to that. It looks like it's got big boots to fill from the original game, and I'm concerned that it might not, and I'm a little concerned about where their focus might be in terms of whether they're just going for really nailing that core gameplay, or whether there's a bit too much of an emphasis on the social aspects of it, which might make sense for a modern audience, and they probably would have done that on the 64 days, but a lot of people love that game for what it was at the time.
I think giving that some thought, because I do remember in that kind of that apprehension coming up before, a possibility might be that they're trying not to. They could be deliberately not showing that much gameplay, so that's not spoiled.
That's actually not a bad shout, because you want to experience. That's the kind of game where if all the gameplay is put into look at all these things in their natural habitats, that's the thing you want to experience firsthand, rather than
exactly. They rather in the kind of direct, they kind of concisely showed the new mechanics.
Yeah. But not all the environments and all the game. Yeah, but that sounds like a smart. It sounds a little bit like a Game Freak excuse. Maybe they're just not showing us everything, and there's more to come, and there often is not.
I mean, is it? Hang on, is it Game Freak? I don't think it is.
That's a good question, actually. It probably isn't because they're putting their time elsewhere.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think Game Freak have done any game aside from the core series
Oh,
for
they're not.
a
Okay.
long time. Let's have a quick look. It is developed by Bandai Namco.
How is it? Oh, fair
Yeah,
enough.
which is that's pretty good. They're quite good
they're-
developers.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably better than Game Freak.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, that
Which
wasn't the only game that was announced though.
no, it wasn't. Well, I mean that
Well, it
game
wasn't announced. Yeah,
No.
that was one that
We had our two Sinnoh boys, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which are not being made by Game Freak, which that is a first.
That is a first, and that's big news.
Yeah.
For people who are Pokemon fans, because people have been anticipating these particular games for a long time, and they're getting something different.
Yeah. I mean, there's one kind of. I mean, the fact that it's being made by the developer who made Pokemon Home, which, as you quite aptly said on the stream, is essentially OneDrive.
Yeah, it's not a game; it's cloud storage.
Yeah. The only kind of, I mean, that gives me absolutely zero confidence. The one thing that does give a little bit more confidence is that it's being not supervised, co-directed by Masuda.
Yeah.
So,
which obviously he's the big man in the franchise, really.
Basically, yeah. He directed the original Sinnoh games.
Yep.
So,
also chief composer for a lot of the early games, possibly still.
I think you might be right, actually. Yeah.
He definitely wrote all the most iconic music in the franchise, so I trust him as a man.
Yeah, Game Freaks more look into like their actual organization structure. It's a weird organization.
Well, I swear it literally is just the four guys that you find in the hotel room in every game.
Yeah,
it's just the four of them muddling along. Like, oh no, this one's keys now. They can be a Pokemon, and do we need gameplay? They'll buy it anyway.
Yeah. They're very much out of their depth.
Yeah.
Which, but although remains to be seen, because their new game does call me a bit of a shill, but I think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks pretty good too. I'm nervously saying that it looks pretty good because they, as a company, have a bit of a history of overpromising and under-delivering.
Yeah.
With the last several games, and probably going back further, but I was too young to know.
Yeah. I think I've always well, I mean, they have not they didn't handle the transition from 2D to 3D well at all.
No, not at all.
And I kind of have started giving them a bit of the benefit of the doubt, in the sense that I will never ever compare their games to other people's games.
No.
I mean, the major comparison would be for Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is just it is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's one of the best games to come out probably ever. I don't think that's even a contentious statement. It's I think for many years to come, you'll find that listed on one of the best games of all time. But that game came out on a Switch, and not long later, Sword and Shield came out with something that was visually similar and was a big step in a direction of an open world game, and obviously was therefore compared apples to apples. Yeah.
But it's kind of more like apples to pears. Like, they're slightly similar, but not the same kind of genre. So it's a bit of a tricky one. And also, there is the thing that makes it probably a viable argument is the fact that they're the same price. The games retail at the same price. Therefore, they are allegedly comparable experiences.
Yeah. Obviously, they're shooting for different things, but I think the biggest criticism that people have had on the recent Pokemon games in particular is the level of polish on them.
Yeah.
Which, when you're playing on a Nintendo system, and the majority of the big games that come out are first-party Nintendo games, they are famous for really, really well-polished, well put together, well thought of games. And because Pokemon is often thought as, because it's Nintendo exclusive, and it's included in things like Smash and all the Nintendo crossover things that happen, it's thought of as a Nintendo game, but it's not. It's a third-party game. that
Yeah.
happens to come out on Nintendo hardware.
I think it's technically second party.
Is it second? Okay, beg pardon.
Because Nintendo own a stake in it.
Right.
But
yeah.
it's a three-way joint endeavor between Nintendo, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo, Creatures Inc. and Game Freak.
Right. Yeah.
And Creatures Inc. That kind of thing is what the Pokemon Company is.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that I always see, always forgotten, is, and it's a kind of excuse, but there are ways around it. Is there things like Animal Crossing being delayed was a good example. How when that game came out, they were still obviously working on it because we've seen multiple updates since.
Yep.
But there was obviously, it got to a point where it was coming to the end of, I think it was November, it was originally slotted to be released. There came a point where someone said, this is not going to be ready for this our original release slot.
Yeah.
Let's
work on it,
delay
for longer.
it. Yeah. And I think whenever a game is delayed, I remember having to convince Emily of this. It's a good thing because yes, obviously you're not going to get it, but the product that you do get eventually will be infinitely better than the product you get.
There's a quote by which I may be misquoting and misattributing, but I think it's from one of the Zelda producers, or possibly it was Miyamoto even, or someone big in Nintendo, that says something along the lines of, a rushed game is never good, but a delayed game... Well, the quote is bad, but there's a quote that is basically saying exactly that. That delayed games will always be better than rushed games.
Yeah, exactly. Point being, though, is that Game Freak will historically has never had that option. It is impossible for them to delay their games because Pokemon is one of the biggest. It is the biggest multimedia franchise on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's merchandise, there's anime, all these things that are their release schedules are based off of Game Freak's development cycle.
Yeah. Which is why they do third versions of games. Yeah. Or what they have done in the past, so they release the original games and then say, right, here's the game, but give us a bit longer, and we'll make the game that we wanted to make. And here's the better version of that game.
Yeah. In theory, yeah.
In theory.
So the point is that this might be the first opportunity that Game Freak actually have a chance to make a game that they want to make, because yes, there will be some merchandise around it. Yes, there will probably be an anime special or something like that, but there probably won't be the same time constraints as usually with the games. I mean, the fact that it's being released in early 2022 is a bit of an indicator, because that's not their normal release window.
No, it's normally November. They release in time for the holidays,
when the remakes are coming out.
Yeah.
So it's a bit interesting. That said, that whole release schedule and window argument can be just swatted aside by just get them to hire more people.
Oh, and they should do. Yeah. It's not as if they don't have the money.
Exactly. So the
biggest multimedia franchise in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remain. I grew up with Pokemon. It's one of my big franchises that stayed with me through my life, and it's something that I will, I'm gonna probably buy and play these games. But I remain cautiously optimistic rather than fully optimistic about these things.
I think my expectations have been permanently set about these games. Like, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for both. I'm excited for the remakes, even though they look a little bit different.
I'm excited that the remakes exist because of what we've just been saying about moving resources back towards Game Freak for them to make the games that they clearly want to make.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for the games themselves.
I will still play them. I will probably still have a good time, because I actually probably am a shill for Pokemon at this point.
Absolutely are.
Yep.
But that's fine. Own what you like.
Yep. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. On another note, though, did you watch the Post Malone Pokemon concert experience?
Boy, didn't I. I sure as hell saw that was a thing and went, all right, no, I don't want to touch that.
That's exactly how I felt, but it kind of came up on YouTube, and it was 13 minutes long.
So you watched it.
So I watched that out of morbid curiosity. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yep.
Yep. I almost recommend that you watch it with the music kind of turned down, so you can
Right.
still kind of hear what's going on, but you're not actually listening to the music. And
You're
it's
not a
just
Post Malone fan?
No, it's not my thing.
No.
Not my
It
thing
looked-
at all.
What the hell was it? Because all I saw was the thumbnail and like the 2-second preview you get if you hover over a YouTube video, and I was just like, nah, not looking at that, thanks.
It was. It's hard to explain, but imagine it starts in a stadium, right?
Right.
A very fictional stadium. Post Malone kind of appears, or Post Malone, because it's a very bad CGI render
It
of
looked
Post Malone.
so bad, yeah.
Stylized, but really bad. The platform that Mr. Posty is on starts floating.
Mr. Posty.
And then all of a sudden, the platform is going through different biomes, and different Pokemon are about, and none of them are quite interacting with Mr. Posty.
Wow.
Mr. Posty's not really quite interacting with them. It's a bit weird. It's a bit shoddy. It was strange, but I don't regret watching it.
Okay. A strong endorsement from Hal.
Yeah, it was just my recommendation. My ranking would be a what the fuck out of 10.
Yeah, okay, no, that's a good ranking. That's worth a watch.
Yeah,
that's definitely worth a watch. Cool. Well, I'll probably go ahead and still not watch that, but I'm glad that you did.
Yeah,
I'll see how bored I get.
Yeah,
which could be plenty.
It was definitely quite strange hearing Post Malone in a Pokemon video surrounded by Lugia and another Pokemon I can't remember talk about sex. That was bizarre.
Right.
Yeah, talking about a casual relationship or being in a relationship just for the sex while Lugia swings by.
Well, you know that's what Lugia's all about, though.
He's all about
it's in the Pokédex entries if you look hard enough.
He's all about that hit it and quit it.
He lives in that bachelor pad in the Whirl Islands.
Yep.
Just him and the fish. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm glad you let me go on with it.
Lugia or Lugio Dime. Yeah, other than that, not much going on this week.
No.
What's the week ahead looking for you like?
Week ahead? Honestly, Hal, I don't know what the week ahead looks like until the week happens.
Fair enough.
I have nothing that made sense, right?
No.
Those were words.
I
very rarely know what's happening until it happens. And then, I'm here now. Oh, this is occurring. What about yourself? You got things to look forward to? Things to tantalize me into waiting for your next recap?
There'll be part 2 of the Spyro race. That's this Friday.
Fantastic. That was one of my favourite bits of streaming recently.
It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Excellent.
That's all I can think of.
Well, with those riveting...
there's nothing... I was just thinking, what is this week? Oh, we got D&D. Oh, yeah, but that's not a thing that's worth mentioning.
No.
And then we're gonna probably record a podcast as well. Oh, that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, it's not a thing.
We'll do some editing of that podcast, get that up.
Yeah.
So tune in next time, guys, where we muddle our way round trying to figure out what we did in the past week. Which clearly was nothing.
Yep. Lockdown 3.0, baby.
Oh, it's a struggle to find things to do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with that, should we wrap things up?
Yeah, let's do that. That's probably for the best. Joe,
how?
Where can we find you on the internet?
On the internet, these days, one more place than usual. You can find me on the YouTubes and on the Instagrams at Joe Goddard Music, and I've definitely posted there in the last 3 years. But you can now, of course, follow me on Twitch as well, which is going to be something that I'm doing more often. So at the moment, my schedule is Tuesday evenings. I'm continuing my way very, very slowly through every Zelda game. And there may be other things other than that I've not figured out yet. But that is at Howard Pringle, Destroyer of Worlds, twitch.tv/HPDOW. How, my friend? Where can we find you?
I still can't get over that username.
It's my favourite thing. It's the least useful username to use for anything, because I can never use the whole thing, but I always want to use the whole thing, so I have to shorten it to those 5 letters which mean nothing. But I love it so much.
Have you ever tried just using Howard Pringle?
I don't want to be Howard Pringle. I want it very specifically to be Howard Pringle, Destroyer of Worlds. The Destroyer of Worlds is the most important thing of the Howard Pringle name.
Yeah, otherwise it's just some dude.
Who the hell's Howard Pringle? No idea.
What's the origin? What's the origin of that?
Long story, involves a Glaswegian zookeeper and a flaming camel. We'll talk about it another time. Where can we find you on the internet?
Okay, I think I found out what the next segment. You're going to have to teach me that next time. So you can find me at my Twitch and my YouTube, which are both at Hal Dimond, HALDIMOND.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me at Instagram is the same.
Yep.
Also the Instagram and Twitter, which is Hal_Dimond.
Disappointing every time you say it.
Disappointing every time. I'll get it one day.
If you guys want to start that petition to get Hal his dream Twitter URL, please do, and email it into us at pod@classflack.com.
We've been getting some emails, Joe.
We've been getting some emails. How? You're joking. We've got emails. What spam have we got?
It's all been from a new a new podcast platform has gone up called Verbal,
right?
Which Buzzsprout added us onto, and now we get emails from that all the time.
Perfect. Let's do the email segment. We did say if we receive any emails, we'll read them all out in full. So Verbal, what have you got for us?
We have one new notification, Joe.
Right.
Let's see what that notification is. I'm going to log into Verbal.
Right.
The new notification is got quite a few. Advice for serial procrastinators was added to your station.
What? Is that another? That's another podcast.
Yep.
Excellent.
That we've just plugged. Yep.
Fantastic. Go listen to that podcast, probably.
Yeah. There's like 8 notifications in here, and it's all
the same kind of thing.
One podcast has been added to your station.
There you go.
I don't know what a station is. If anyone has any idea what Verbal actually is, that would be nice.
Email us in. Love to get some real emails one day. One day
we'll get an email. And that's your lot.
That's our show.
Get out of here, you scamp.
Hey, get off my lawn. Hey. How'd you get in here? This is private property.
Put that down.